Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So in this video, I'm going to talk about, what happens when you don't cold approach women, in your dating life, right? Because there's a lot of guys who, they don't want a cold approach because, they're scared. They have a big ego and they don't want to get rejected. They might not do it because they feel like it makes them look thirsty or they feel embarrassed and all this other stuff. But what I want to talk about is, what's gonna happen if you don't do this, right? And see, generally what'll happen if you don't cold approach is that you are not going to be able to get a lot of different women, and you are usually going to be, in a situation where you're just going to be getting a bunch of like average type of chicks, average looking girls, because you're not cold approaching. Because what happens is that when you don't cold approach, what you're, what the only thing that you have left is either your social circle, waiting for women to choose you, right? Or I would say online dating. You understand what I'm saying? Now, for those who don't know what cold approaching is when you basically are just randomly approaching, chicks, right? You're not waiting for choosing signals. You're not waiting for somebody to introduce you to some girl. It's like, no, you see a chick, you want to go holler at her, and you holler at her. Period. See, I would say 90% of the women that I've gotten in my life were through cold approach and online dating. But I would say more had to do with cold approach. Because online dating is good and it's great if you know how to do it. But I would say that, actually being out and meeting women face to face is way more beneficial than online dating. Even though online dating works if you know how to do it. But I always will, say that being in person, meeting the girl in person, works way better. Right? And this is why I advocate for dudes to learn how to go out there and approach chicks and cold approach and not just wait for the choosing signals. And see, this is the thing. If you don't cold approach, you're not going to get a lot of women. So if you're the type of guy who doesn't care about getting a lot of women, then you don't need to think about too much cold approaching. But if you actually want to have sex with multiple women, if you want to, be with hot women, you're going to have to cold approach. Sorry to tell you this, guys. That's really the only way you're going to get a large number of hot women is to cold approach. It's not going to happen through your social circle, right? It's not going to happen through online dating, because even though you can get some chicks on online dating, it's not going to be a consistent flow of hot chicks you're going to be getting on online dating for most guys, right? And, with the whole choosing signal shit, if you're waiting around for choosing signals, most of the women that are choosing you, quote unquote, aren't going to be super hot, 9s and 10s that you want. It ain't happening. Because if it was, you wouldn't be even listening to me or any other coach on YouTube. You'd be busy smashing these 9s and 10s as choosing you all day, right? So the thing is that in order for you to get, a large number of women and also hot women, you got to go on a cold approach. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you are out here and let's say you're at a club, at a bar, at a party, just somewhere on the street, whatever, right? This is where you're going to see all those hot girls, right? This is where you're going to see a large number of those hot women that you want to talk to. And all of them aren't going to be choosing you, you understand, or giving you choosing signals. So you're going to have to go and approach. See, the problem is a lot of guys don't do this because, some dudes, they care too much about what other people think. So I've heard guys say, well, I don't want a cold approach because, it's embarrassing. What, if she rejects me, I'm going to feel embarrassed. Or I've heard guys say, I don't want a cold approach because it seems so thirsty. You understand? And so these guys care too much about what other people think. And I'm like, look, if you're a man, you're not supposed to give a fuck about what anybody thinks. You just got to do what you want to do. Do what you got to do to make shit happen for you, period. You know, it's weird. I've been hearing dudes online even saying like stuff like cold approaching is beta. Like what? I'm like, so a man going after what he wants is a beta male? Like how does that work? You understand? A man being a man, because this is what men do. Men go after what they want. You understand? That's what men are. Men are go-getters. Men are, you know, we go and do things how we want to do them. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, if you see in a bunch of girls that you want to talk to and you're not talking to them because you're embarrassed or you're scared or you don't want to get your ego hurt or whatever it is, right? You're not really doing the thing you want to do, because what you really want to do is you want to go over there and talk to that girl. You want to get with that girl, and you're not because you're scared. It's really that simple. You're scared. So how is the activity that gets you out of that comfort zone, you know, a beta thing? Doesn't make sense. You understand? See, the alpha is supposed to be the dominant male. If you are the dominant male, that means you have dominion over your situation. That means you're controlling your situation. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of dudes, what they'll do is that they'll wait for the choosing signals all the time. And again, there's nothing wrong with this is what I think guys need to differentiate. Guys need to stop waiting for choosing signals. You can see if there are choosing signals, but don't wait for choosing signals. That's the problem. Too many dudes just waiting around for choosing signals. To me, that's some beta ass shit, because you're waiting on the woman to make the decision before you act. You understand? You're waiting for the woman to make the decision before you act. You might as well be married and basically yes dear your wife all day. That's what you sound. You're a yes dear man. You feel what I'm saying? Because you want to do something, but you're waiting on her cue for you to do something. That's what you were doing when you're waiting for choosing signals. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is this: a lot of dudes, they're scared to approach the girl because they're scared of getting rejected, right? But see, if you're scared of getting rejected, what's going to happen is you're going to just wait for choosing signals, and then you're waiting around for the girls who are going to give you those signals, and then that's when you're going to act. But who are the girls that's going to give you those signals? What if you are, hanging out and chilling, you going out with your boys or whatever? You went out like maybe 2 or 3 times this month to different clubs, on the weekends or something like that. And let's say you had maybe 15 girls choosing you, checking you out heavy, throwing those choosing signals. But let's say, 12 of them were like 5s and 6s. You understand? And this is why I said that if you don't cold approach, what you're regulated to is whoever's choosing you, if you're waiting for the choosing signals. And a lot of the girls who are choosing you might be girls who aren't the type you want to be with. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta understand that. See, and this is the thing, a lot of dudes have this fantasy that, the hottest girls are going to be choosing them. They're like, well, maybe if I get more jewelry or dress this way or, like get plastic surgery. I don't know what the fuck these niggas think. They think that that's going to make it easier for the women to choose you. Now, this is the thing. If you do dress better and look better, yeah, there are going to be, certain girls who will check you out. But what you have to understand is that the type of woman that you want, if you're trying to get the 9s and the 10s and the 8s and all that other shit, right? There's not going to be a large majority of those girls throwing heavy choosing signals your way on a consistent basis. I keep trying to tell guys this. But guys live in a fantasy world because they're too scared to cold approach. So they're like, well, I'm going to keep working on myself and, self-improving and doing this and doing that so I don't have to do shit but stand there and have the women choose me. You see what I'm saying? Instead of, just being a man and fucking approaching a chick you want to approach. You understand? See, it's gotten to a point, right, where, because, I basically cold approach, 90% of the time, right? When I'm out there, I'm not sitting there waiting for chicks to check me out or choose me before I go do anything. And so what happened was I got so good at interacting with chicks and, making shit happen with chicks that I said to myself, all right, when I go out into this club or this bar, I got to choose wisely who I'm going to talk to first, who I'm going to cold approach first. Because what started to happen was when I would go to these bars and clubs or whatever, the first girl I would approach and cold approach or whatever would be the same chick that I end up smashing that night. Because, sometimes you go out, you talk to a number of different girls or whatever, but it would be, literally and this happened so many different times, it was, literally the first girl I cold approach and I start talking to her, we end up making out, and then she ends up wanting me to come back to her spot. You feel what I'm saying? And so I would just basically look around the spot and say, okay, that girl. And I go up to her. She probably ain't even looking at me. She don't even know I'm there. I roll up and I'm like, what's good? You understand? And see, what a lot of guys don't understand is when it comes to cold approach is that a lot of times you may not necessarily be on a girl's radar, not because she's not attracted to you, but just because she didn't really see you. You know what I'm saying? Because, if I go into a bar or club and it's dark, you understand? And as dark as my ass is or whatever. But, I go into this club and it's dark, the lights is low, and I just walk in and I see a girl all the way across the room. She didn't see me. And then as I'm approaching her, I get closer to her, right? There's sometimes where I'll be near her and sometimes I'll be with my friend and we'll just be in the vicinity talking, and I'll be just looking around, looking at certain chicks at first, and I'm looking at, okay, who I'm gonna approach first. And a lot of the girls that I approach, they're not even looking at me at all, right? But then I go and approach them and I start talking. They start giggling, smiling, doing shit with their hair, fucking touching on me and shit. Next thing you know, we getting it in, right? So the thing that guys gotta understand is that a lot of times when you cold approach, the girl starts to feel you while the interaction's happening. This is what I try to tell dudes when they're so bent up on this waiting for choosing signals. A lot of times what happens is the chick starts to choose you within the interaction. This is what guys don't get. So that means a girl may not have been checking you out, looking at you, whatever. You go up to her and you start talking to her. And then while you're talking to her and interacting with her, she starts to like you more. You understand? Or what happens as soon as you say hi to her, whatever, as soon as you start the conversation, she's already engaged. You feel what I'm saying? And this is the thing that guys don't understand is that, if you want those high quality, hot chicks, right? A lot of those girls, they get, dudes checking them out, trying to holler at them all the time, all this other shit, right? And so a lot of those girls aren't necessarily, going out their way to throw choosing signals at guys. And even when they do, it's very subtle because, they don't want to necessarily, put everything out there. Because if this is what happens, and this is what most guys don't understand, if a girl makes it blatantly obvious that she's choosing you and you don't approach, you don't interact with her, she's going to take that as a rejection. So therefore, sometimes chicks, what they do is that they, on purpose, try not to check you out or try not to look at you or try their hardest to make it seem as if they are not, you know, trying to really show any interest. Because if they do and you don't do anything, then to them that's a rejection. Because if a chick smiles at you from across the room and you don't go and approach her, she's going to think you're not interested in her, which is going to make her feel insecure. So to avoid that, she's going to sometimes try not to do anything. You see what I'm saying? Because she doesn't want to have to deal with that bullshit. You understand? She doesn't want to have to deal with, you know, you sort of giving her that quote unquote rejection. But see, the thing is that when you cold approach, right, you have unlimited options of who to holler at. When you wait on choosing signals, you are only relegated to the chicks who choose you. This is what I be trying to tell you cats. So y'all got to stop being scared of cold approaching. Like, it's really not a big deal. A lot of dudes, they're scared because they're like, oh, I don't want to get rejected. And I'm like, bruh, you can get rejected whenever. Even if a chick chooses you, you can still get rejected. A chick could be checking you out heavy, smiling. You go up to her, you start talking to her now, and then by the end of the night, she ain't really trying to fuck with you like that because whatever you said or did turned her off and all that other yada yada bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? Chicks are fickle and flaky and all over the place. You feel what I'm saying? So the thing with the cold approaching is that within itself, you approaching the girl because you want to do it, and this is something you want, right? That trains your mind as a man to be able to do that in other aspects of your life. You don't just sit around and wait for shit. You feel what I'm saying? You go after the shit you want. You see what I'm saying? Because me cold approaching goes hand in hand with me being a go-getter in all the other shit that I do in my life. Because I have the mindset of, I'm not waiting for nothing. I'm not waiting for nothing. Because you got to understand this. The chicks who is supposed to work out with, it's going to work out with. The chicks who is not, it ain't. So you waiting around and being scared and being a little pussy because you scared of a chick not feeling you after you approach her and all that other stuff. That's some straight pussy shit. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? like you're a man. Like, what the fuck are you, like, what are you waiting for a chick to give you the cue? That shit is crazy to me. You see what I'm saying? And again, like I was saying, if you don't cold approach, what you're going to be designated to is a small amount of women that you can get with. And usually who you're going to get with isn't really going to be the hottest chicks. You feel what I'm saying? It's just not. It's like this. Because I live in New York City, right? And there's there's hot chicks in New York City, right? But what happens is that you see the hottest girls when you go to specific spots. You understand what I'm saying? When you go to a specific spot, you see the hottest girls. So what that means is that on a regular day when I'm just walking around in Brooklyn and whatever, I'll see, a few decent chicks here and there, right? But I don't see a large number of hot chicks unless I go to the specific spots where a large number of hot chicks are going to be congregating in those spots. You feel what I'm saying? And so the thing is that in order for me to, and any other guy to really, get in the vicinity of those type of girls, those hot girls that you want, you got to actually take action and go do that shit. You feel what I'm saying? You got to be there. You see what I mean? But if you're just like, well, I'm just going to sit on my stoop in Brooklyn and wait around for some hot girls to pass by, and then if they look at me, I'll go and talk. It's like, no, you're not putting yourself in position to get with those women. You feel what I'm saying? So the same thing is that when you're sitting around and you're waiting for the choosing shit, you're not putting yourself in position to get those girls. When you go out and you cold approach, right? When you go out and you interact with these women, right? You're putting yourself in position to get those type of girls you want, to get the hot girls, to get multiple hot women. Now, again, if you don't care about having a lot of women, then, you don't got to bother with cold approaching. If you don't care about getting hot girls, if you just, okay, I'll just settle for whoever, is going to choose me or whatever, you understand, or just these average chicks out here, you don't got to worry about cold approaching. You see what I'm saying? But if you want the hottest chicks and you want multiple women, there is no other way, bro. I'm sorry to be the one with the bad news, but there ain't no other way. Because, yeah, you can get a hot girl from online. You can get a hot girl from your social circle. You can, get a hot girl from a chick choosing you. But how many are you going to get? How consistent is that going to be? See, and there's another video I'm going to do where I'm talking about why you need to have a lot of chicks. You feel what I'm saying? Because, yeah, you'll get, let's say you have that one hot girl in your social circle, right? And let's say that fizzles out in 2 weeks. And she was the only hot girl in your social circle. Now, if you don't want a cold approach, then you already exhausted your social circle situation. Now you're going to have to try to go online. And I know a lot of y'all don't want to fuck with that. And then now you're just going to have to wait for a hot chick to choose you. Now you're just going to be chilling and waiting around for the hot chick to choose you. And then when she chooses you, you still got to fucking go through the nonsense. See, let me say one more thing about choosing. See, this is how I want to explain to you guys how not efficient just waiting on choosing is. Because if you think about it like this, right? Any of you guys who use Tinder or Bumble, understand that Tinder or Bumble or any swipe right, swipe left type of dating app, when you match with a girl, you know what that means? When you match with a girl, that means she chose you. You chose her too. That's why y'all matched. But essentially, she chose you. Now, I want all of you guys who use Tinder, use Bumble, I want you to look in your inbox, and I want you to look at how many girls you've matched with, and then also think about how many of those girls you actually met up with and had sex with. Okay, think about that. Think about how many girls you matched with because they were choosing you. How many of those girls have you actually went out with and had sex with? You understand? And I'm saying that to say that the choosing doesn't necessarily mean that sex is going to happen. Because if you in your inbox have 100 girls you match with on Tinder and you ain't fuck 100 of those girls, then what difference does it make if a chick is choosing you or not? You see what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. Look, you have to talk to more women and you have to go out there and cold approach so that you can up those numbers, right? So you can get the hottest girls, so you can get more women, because it's unlimited when you cold approach, because the cold approaching is literally you just picking and choosing who you want to talk to, when you want to do it, how much you want to do it. It's the ultimate freedom of making it happen. But if you're a scared motherfucker, it's not going to work for you. If you're worried about what everybody's going to think, if you're scared of, they're going to think I'm thirsty, and, this is some beta male shit, cold approach, and I'm hearing that stupid shit or whatever. Or, if you're this super high value guy, you don't have to cold approach, and all the women are going to come to you because you're super sexy and awesome and you're the greatest guy ever. So women, they're going to get out of their comfort zone, even though they're not socialized to approach you anyway. They're going to, they're going to switch it up just for you because you're that dude. You understand? So it's just a bunch of nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? Look, you guys got to understand, like, I really want you guys to really, really, really get this. Because if you don't get this, right, what's going to happen is you're going to be sitting there waiting around, trying to do all these little tactics to hopefully get chosen by some chicks, and shit ain't going to really be popping off for you. You feel what I'm saying? It's not. So get your ass out there, stop being a fucking pussy, and go and approach these chicks, all right? So that's pretty much it. Listen, guys, I'm out of here, and remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone. Click the link below to get the ebook 60-Second Game. In this book, you learn how your confidence, verbal communication skills, appearance, response to rejection, and honesty can affect your game. Click the link below to get your copy today.
Now, before you turn off this video, I want you to do 3 quick things. 1, I want you to click the link below to send me a question. If you have a question on dating and relationships, I'll make a video about it. 2, I want you to click the link under that to get my free audio program, Undeniable Game, which teaches you 7 easy to follow tips on how to really attract beautiful women. And 3, I want you to click the link under that one to go to Bad Boy Membership, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month.
What's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy Membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy to follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy Membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.